seconds to get situated, and we'll go ahead and do this. Laptop's acting up, I don't know why. Fun stuff. Hardly ever used the thing. Hello? Huh, doesn't seem to be having any audio. That's weird. Pardon me a second. I love this. The one reason why I use this. Well, apparently it works. Alright. Hello everyone, Bubba Ninja 720 here, bringing you part 142 of my live stream playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and close this window out. So, I'm still recovering from injury/illness. So, I noticed that I have some unlocks to do. So, this will unlock Kurenai. The seaweed is always greener. Begging your pardon, sir, but you are an adventurer, are you not? I approach you on the off chance that you are acquainted with one of your distinguished fellows, a great hero by the name of Hero. That's me, buddy. What? You are none other than the legendary Hero, liberator of nations and scourge of the Empire. How kind the kami are to guide your steps this way. I have tasks with finding you, you see. I have been tasked with finding you, you see, by the lady-in-waiting of Suino Sato. My blue brethren and I are assisting the good folk there in a certain endeavor, but they have been experiencing some difficulties. And seeking to address said difficulty, the lady-in-waiting wishes to entreat your aid. If you should be willing, I ask that you come to Tamamizu, where the lady awaits. Alrighty. And then we will go... Am I unlocking anything else here? I don't think I am. Yeah, so we're going to go to Tamamizu now. And there's another unlock there. Then we're going to try and go to Idleshire, and then we're going to go to, we're going to go to another spot. We're going to do Kaishir and finish his stuff off, hopefully. We're going to go to Kurenai. You should remember Kurenai. Hero, you came. Deep in my heart I knew that you would, but I am no less glad for it. To spare you to confusion, it is I, Kurenai. As you will doubtless appreciate, 'twould not do for the Ruby Princess to be seen outside the palace, hence my current guise. I'll bring you to Tamamizu. Isn't this a little risky? I'll bring you to Tamamizu. There is something that I wish to achieve, for which the Kojin's home is an ideal venue. As you well know, our people have long lived in isolation. I would change that. I would have us emerge into the outside world. That surprised me. How did I conceive of this, you may wonder? 'Twas none other than our journey together, Hero, that sowed the seeds in my heart. Such things as I beheld and experienced, even as they filled me with awe, they made me keenly aware of our own wants. In the past, Suino Sato engaged in limited trade with Doma, but that delicate tie was severed with the Empire's violent arrival. Nowadays, a handful of necessities from Tamamizu is our sole link to the world beyond. But with the Imperial menace driven from the Ruby Sea, I thought, what better time to venture out of our little bubble once more. However, 'tis far easier said than done. Princess or no, you can't just go and change things as you please. There are hard-headed types who will fight tooth and nail to keep things as they are, and you've got to win them over. With a little help from this adventurer here, that's about the short of it, eh? Have to say, it's nice to see an Eorzean face here at the bottom of the brine. Well met, adventurer. I'm Sanana, of the House of Splendors. Permit me to introduce Sanana. She came to be with us after her ship foundered in a storm. Our people chanced to find her clinging to Flotsam and brought her to Suino Sato. I'd be fish fodder if they didn't appear when they did, and so to repay the debt, I'm helping Kurenai with their goal of opening Suino Sato to the world. Sanana's insights have been most enlightening. In seeking to usher in change, she recommends that we distribute among the citizens such articles from the surface that they will find useful in their daily lives. I had thought to make my case only with words, but indeed a practical item in the hand shall prove far more convincing than any argument I could concoct. If our people are made to know the benefits of trade firsthand, they shall be more willing to embrace change. With no rituals of import requiring the Ruby Princess's presence in the near future, I came to Tamamizu some while ago to commence our efforts. Alas, I regret to say we've yet to make any progress. Owing to the shipwreck, I've got no suitable wares on hand, and while the Kojin have been helpful, we're struggling to procure the kind of items needed in Suino Sato. That was when my thoughts turned to you, my friend. As a well-traveled adventurer, I believed that we would benefit from your aid. And to my surprise and delight, not only was Sanana familiar with your name, she told me that you were possessed of skills that would indeed serve our cause. Aye, anyone that's got anything to do with the house knows Hiro. He's one of the best contributors on our roster. Now, while we don't have ready wares, we did manage to salvage some materials to help you along. Naturally, we don't expect you to work for nothing. In the house fashion, there'll be scripts in it for your troubles, so you will help, right? Think long and hard. Look, I realize the house has a reputation, but we're not all ruthless, coin-hungry sorts. Not all the time, anyway. At the end of the day, we're just people, and like most people, we can be driven by altruism. And make no mistake, Suino Sato needs help. Might be as the place prides itself on self-sufficiency, but the reality is grimmer than it seems. Every day, folk there are pushed to the limits of survival, and some of them don't make it. It's not our intent to turn Suino Sato on its head, transform it into some bustling hub like Kugane, but through trade, lives can be improved, lives can be saved. Alright, glad. Now that you mention it that it's not for profit, we'll do that. Well, mostly for profit. You have our eternal gratitude. With the two of you standing with us, there is hope yet for our people. Well then, if it's decided, let's all get to work. Haste is for the essence, isn't that right? Indeed. This season sees many of us struck down by a certain illness. We have not an effective treatment, and each year it inevitably claims lives. While I'm no healer, judging by the symptoms, lack of nutrition is the problem, in which case I might know something that could prevent it. A fortifying tonic traditionally brewed in Girabania. Hiro, we would be grateful if you could begin by supplying us with this Girabanian remedy. The people are depending on you. Custom deliveries unlocked for Kurenai. Yay, so now I have Kurenai unlocked. Alright, Girabanian remedies. Now there's a fishing unlock here. Sumitsubo. A new fishing experience. Emphasis on spearing. You smell a fish. Does this mean then that you are a fisher from above? If you enjoy hunting fish up there, then I'm sure you would take pleasure in hunting them down here as well. You cannot use rods and reels underwater, though. No, you will need a spear to strike your prey swiftly and silently like the Kojin. I suppose you would call it spearfishing. Would you like a lesson in spearfishing? If you should see any of my blue brothers outside, I'm sure they would be glad to show you how it's done. I need to unlock this because, yeah, I'm getting to the point where some of my fish need to be speared. You wish to hunt fish with a spear. Why, it is as easy as breathing underwater. And considering you're not blue in the face, I can tell you will master this skill in no time at all. First, you will need to search for where fish gather. When you have found a suitable school of fish, steady your spear and strike with a quick and fluid thrust. That and a clamshell is the art of spearfishing. Of course, these explanations mean nothing if you have no spear to practice. Here, take one of mine. If you look around, you're likely to find promising prey close by. Farewell, friend, and happy hunting. You are now able to obtain fish via spearfishing. In order to do so, you must first equip a spearfishing gig as your secondary tool. By using the action Fathom, you will be able to locate teeming waters as you explore the ocean. With your spearfishing gig in hand, you can interact with these teeming waters to catch fish. That was quick and easy. I can now gig. This will also give me extra stats. Extra GP, to be exact. The thing about this is you don't get another spearfishing gig. This is the only one you get. I never upgraded it. Alright, so we're gonna go back to Culinarian. And we're gonna go to Idleshire. Because I want to see if I have an unlock there yet. I have that one, I have that one, I have that one. Aw, she didn't unlock it yet. Alright, so she's not unlocked yet. Darn. That sucks. Alright, we're gonna go to Yulmore then. Go finish off Kaishir. Oops, that's current. Kaishir is airship fittings. I need 3 more of those. Where's Dodden at? There you are, Dodden. Might be able to get me to 86 or 87. No, 86. Alright. This should get me to the last tier for Kaishir. I don't hardly know anything about airships, but you've been on a few, right? Hopefully that'll make your job a bit easier. When I managed to get a lot of the basic materials from Venmont Yards, you're the only one I know who could put together, or while I manage, you can put together the trickier things on the Golden Bliss. Yep. I think I said this last time. We're just gonna skip through that. That ought to do it. I'll get this lot off to the soldiers and shipwrights working on the fleet. I'll bet they'll be chuffed to bits when you see what you've come up with. We finally managed to get Colton everything he asked for. Since our part of the bargain is taken care of, all we have to do now is wait and see how things turn out. I almost forgot to mention that Master Chai wanted to see us. We've been asked to meet him at by the Xylem lift. I reckon we've got some good news coming our way, so let's take Anfrig and Zia along to hear it. Heard? Thank you for coming on such short notice. What an honor it is to be joined not only by the Queen Bee himself, but the enchanting Mistress Moen. We were enjoying one of our promenades when we chanced upon Master Chai, who graciously invited us to accompany him. I'm lucky I ran into you, as I'd neglected to invite you from the outset. After all, with the fortunes of your prospective businesses being so closely tied to those of Yulmore, this affects you more than most. Kaishir, your efforts have finally borne fruit. In other words, we can now commence airship flights to and from the Crystarium. Our newly repurposed fleet stands at the ready. As a matter of fact, preparations are now underway for our very first voyage. Alright, congrats. We did it. Now the Beehive will be absolutely swarming with visitors, especially once we put the next part of the plan into action. You mean there's more? Of course there is. We're not going to wait for them to arrive to tell them about the Beehive. I'm looking into advertising in the Crystarium. Once they hear about the high-class entertainment and affordable food and drink we have on offer, they'll be racing to get on those airships. Hold on, I've got another idea. If we give them a little souvenir on the way out, they're bound to come back for more. And when they get back to the Crystarium, they can show their friends and tell them about all the fun they had at the Beehive. That'll bring in even more customers. My word, that's brilliant. My sentiments exactly. Hiring him on the spot was something of a gamble, but my faith has been repaid manyfold. Let's not count on our Amaro just yet. There's still a lot to do before any guests arrive. Till then, we dancers will be working on some brand new routines. We'll show them such a good time they'll never want to leave. I never imagined that entertainment would be the key to turning around our fortunes, but here we are. I see great things ahead for you, Kaishir, though it is often said the proof is in the pudding. I have every confidence you will see this through to its natural and successful conclusion. Yay! Kaishir could not be happier with your efforts. He now considers you a savior of the Beehive. Through your efforts, the Beehive has become one of the primary reasons to visit Yulmore. It seems, however, that Kaishir has a different sort of favor to ask of you. Blimey, did you hear what Master Chai was saying? I gotta tell you, it feels good having a man like him singing your praises. By the sounds of it, you're no stranger to that yourself. He's got every reason to be optimistic, though. Everything's coming together nicely, and it's all thanks to you. Of course, we're not quite there yet. We can't afford to get complacent. But if the plan with the souvenirs pays off, everyone in the Crystarium will be wanting to hop on an airship and sample the delights of the Beehive. To be honest, I ain't got a clue what would be a decent souvenir. If you bring me whatever you think will work, we'll take it from there. Alrighty. Before you go charging off, there's one other thing I wanted to ask. Huh? The Queen bee is always going on about clothes maketh the man or something. The ones they gave me to wear when I joined make me presentable enough, but I want to look less like hired help and more like I belong here. Don't worry, there's no need to donate half your wardrobe to me or nothing. I heard about those glamour prism thingies. They'll work just as well as shelling out on a new outfit. Mind you, I spent most of my life dressed in bits of old sack, so I wouldn't know where to start. Would you maybe pick something out for me? I hate to be a pain, but you've obviously got much better dress sense than me. Yeah, count on me. I'm probably gonna leave you the way you are dressed, though. Future requests will be selected at random from all of those you have seen thus far, with the list refreshed once a week or a time. You may review the items currently in demand at any time by speaking with Kaishir and selecting Make a Delivery. Note that Beehive Souvenirs, Collusion Miscellany, and Collusion King Crabs will earn you particularly handsome rewards. Whenever they make an appearance, the effort to procure them will be worth your while. Furthermore, Kaishir's appearance may now be altered through the use of glamours. A new quest is available for Anne Frigg in the Beehive. Completion of this quest will allow airship travel between Yulmore and the Crystarium. Ooh. Nice. Too bad I don't use the airship regularly. Where's Dodden at? Dodden, where are you? There you are. Because you have souvenir. I could do 6 of those, I believe. No, I could do 3. I am definitely hitting 86. We'll break it up. I'll go do some story after this, and then after the next stream, if I remember, we'll do some Kurenai, get that knocked out. A pleasant morning to you, sir. How did that sound? I'm trying to brush up my manners. Gotta make a good impression, you know. I've been scratching my head trying to come up with a decent souvenir for the folks from the Crystarium, but you've got an eye for quality, so I trust your judgment more than my own. Oh, look at that. It's almost a shame to give it away for free, though. Maybe we could start flogging these on the side. Oof. Almost a 1.5 million XP. I knew I was right to ask you for help. You've really got an eye for quality and the skill to match. Still, I expect we'll both be kept busy in the days to come. Yep. Wow, that wasn't very long of a talk. Yep, weekly maximum. Alrighty, that's quite a bit of unlocking. Alright, so I am going back to old Charlian. I think I'm going to change out my minion as well. We're going to go back to Morpho. My favorite. I can't wait for the quality of life change that they're doing. Basically, when you sprint in town, you go to a jog pace instead of a, like, this pace after sprinting in town, so getting around isn't as bad as it used to be. A seat at the last stand. Ready for a tea break, hero? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down in the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Although, quite frankly, I still say it would be better if they could just PvP toggle sprint. I mean, they have it set up that way. When you're in the PvP area, all you have to do is hit sprint and it stays on. It doesn't expire unless you get hit with an attack. That's the only time it'll expire. But you shouldn't have to worry about getting hit in town. Such crystal waters. Go down this area. I mean, I guess Charlene's not too bad. I still have some habits of getting lost here, though, every once in a while. As busy as ever, I see. How very Charlene that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telophoroi. We might even learn something new, worth a try, don't you think? Well, or we could cause an uprising. Alice is now accompanying you. Keep her at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Alice behind by entering a different area, or by speaking with her and selecting the option to part ways. If you wish to have Alice accompany you again, return and speak with her at the original location. See, my main worry about this right now is that no one knows anything about the outside world, and we're going to cause a panic, which will in turn get us kicked out. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telophoroi. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all we hold dear, and... Wait, you're that House Lavier girl, aren't you? And this man with you is obviously a foreigner. Huh. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've not to say to the likes of you. Hey, how you doing, Plex? I mean, I'm doing this mainly for the unlocks, and the other thing is this is way easier for me to stream in my current state. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, hero. Alice has quite the viper tongue. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telophoroi and their unconscionable plans. Thank you. Appreciate it. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Lavier. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortunault that I was helping you... I see, we're sorry to have bothered you. Ah, it's Dickon. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alice I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion in between lessons at the studium. It seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Lavier. No matter how discreet Master Fortunault may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now, of all times? We have questions and only Charlene has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What, like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse. Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. Maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlene, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? Yeah, I'll go clanking around in my tin can and go serve some food and drink. See if I can't shell out some information. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelet is for the one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisela. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Mikote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. Alright. We're going to do Gisela first, because that one actually had a name. There's Gisela. Gisela got the omelet. The Gazette featured a piece about a so-called champion of Eorzea. They say this barbaric hero has prevailed in a multitude of battles, like some avatar of perfected violence. And it's almost uncanny how closely you match the given description. What an odd coincidence. Wait. Oh, I have to go in order? Never mind. This group, I believe, is the tea set. Oh, my tea set. Lovely, thank you. The Talafra... Who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them, or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practices of the Six Astral Era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. So they are ignorant. The Omle. Finally. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. That didn't rhyme. What? The Talafaroi? Yes. I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. Urbane banter with a smile. At last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved this stuff for this heavenly dish. The Final Days. This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is. They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world procuring things that haven't gotten here in Charlene. Priceless books, unusual life specimens, and so forth. So named for those folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Talafaroi make good on their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before, not like this. So they are working on it. It's just... they don't want to cause a stir. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. The Forum does have secret knowledge, and they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. Is it hand-poured coffee? But let's enjoy our drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. No? Do I not get the... Oh. This is the perfect opportunity to give you a hand-poured coffee for a housing item. You get a perception buff for your gathering, for drinking it. Yes, this should do nicely, out of the wind and out of sight.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Charlian? Grahas said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been, how being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
Possibly, but there's no use mulling over it because you can't change the past. It's a lot of cargo.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Ugh, Labyrinthos.
A vast complex beneath the island.
Not a fan of that
Charlian
area.
is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat.
It's an interesting concept, and it looks lovely, but it's clunky, and unless you have flying, it's very difficult to traverse.
Wait, didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
A labyrinthine descent. We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to Nomenon and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Alright. Oh well. I think I just went in a big circle. I was gonna use the Aether Plaza, or aetheryte, but I don't think that was going to work out too well. Oh wow, I almost capped out on crafter scripts. I'm going to have to spend those at some point. Off camera, of course. Hello. Sights of the... Oh. I need to go and do that at one point, because that's the Endwalker site log. I like how we're getting closer and closer to the end of the story. Once we get to the end of the story, or I'm caught up, we're going to basically do streams where I'll do backlog content like raids and whatnot. A lot of it's going to be unsynced because a lot of those raids are no longer done. But I will at least show off the story. And I'll do a little bit of a rundown on each battle and everything. To the best of my ability. Welcome back, hero. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo, it certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As Y'shtola observed earlier, Nominon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Hero and Alice learned at the Last Stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telophoroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it is stretched to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. And if we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. A fine idea. What should we expect down there? Anything would be better than burying my head in another dusty book. What should we expect down there? Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. And we leave the most versatile member of our brigade behind. They're looking at you, Graha. Literally, he's like the best team member of the entire Scions right now. Most versatile. Ready? Labyrinthos is not far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow Alice and try not to fall behind. I hate these. Alright, go. This is not a brisk walk. This is a scenic, like, you know, stroll. Are you gonna pick up speed? Because, I mean, I walk faster than you. I can't walk any slower. I could do this. No, that doesn't work. Finally. Well, hurry up. And I still move faster than you, I think. Nope, actually, there we go. I could sprint and run by you, but nah. I'll stay right behind. Oh. Well, go. Can you talk and run at the same time? Okay. The trick is to go on the inside of the turn, so that way you go faster. Here we are, through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. I have already been attuned. The moment I'm able to be attuned, I get attuned. I know not to make that mistake. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift and down we go. Now, I will say, I'm not a fan of it, but it is an amazing looking area.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge, buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
The reason why I'm not a fan of this area is because you can't fly initially, and they already have it gated story-wise so that you can't gain flying towards the end of the game for reasons to keep you from exploring ahead. But once you get flying, it's not too bad. But it's amazing the scope of what they did down here.
Expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Ah, a familiar face.
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Uh-oh. Crowd didn't look too good.
Did you call to me just now?
No.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Sure thing. So this is Labyrinthos. Just imagine the scope of everything. I'm going to run down to the edge just to show you how huge this area is. By the way, I'm zoomed out as far as I can go. Place is absolutely gargantuan. So we'll only be able to check out the outer ring. We won't be able to get to the inner level for a while. So yeah, and yeah, it's a long way down. Let me think. The Rhea seed should be item 1058, Cumin seeds 1059, Snurbbleberry 1060, or were they 1061? My head feels like it's stuffed with moko grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once and risk mix? Blah. Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Kurthan carrots for the Garabanian carrots? What then? Your exchange with Tiev has taught you about large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthos. Sounds like a mass archiving, like they're making an arc. You here to help or give me more headaches, because you don't have the look of a gleaner, and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Your exchange with Arnval has taught you about exhausted gleaners. Ah, Arnval. He's gonna be a regular in a little bit. You wanna know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore, and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos, you know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high, damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. Your exchange with Dobbin has taught you about taking stock in Labyrinthos. Any luck, hero? What tales did the Gleaners have to tell? There's my bits. So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right, the Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. Glorified rat catcher. We would do well to learn more of what, specifically, the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game hero, I have an idea. Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. Oh, lovely. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting. Of course. You take the easy route. I'll go play with rats. You wish to help me find the marmots. I have nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance. Yeah, sure. I'm a good guy like that. The name is Arnval, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Naxian marmots is a trial I have no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For mercy, there are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in the sack, gently, of course. Can I smack him over the head right fast to stun him? Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. Be on your guard, there are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot, or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. On a plus note, at least you get the mount up in here. God, I feel so slow without my flight. Yeah, that's how large the area is. Like, I'm zoomed out as far as it can go. It's like one of the largest zones in the entire area. Alright, who's attacking it? Hunting coyote. Time to eat some crits. Oh, it died that quickly, huh? Oh, I committed the cardinal sin. Basically, remember that warning I gave so many months ago and streams ago? That if you get outside the purple circle when you kill your targets, you restart it when you go back in the circle. Oh, I just committed that sin. Chirp, squeak. It ran away. Barely have you readied the sack when the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbrush. This is why you give it a quick rap on the head. Not enough to kill it, mind you, just enough to stun it. Either that or pin it down. And no, I'm not an animal beater. Before anyone decides to crack those types of jokes or accusations. Squeak. The rodent nimbly evades your grasp before once more disappearing into the trees. Again. A snare would also help. I gotta definitely go around these trolls. Oh, you're up there, aren't you? I gotta go up the damn incline. I'm actually kind of worried about what you have supposedly gleaned about me. Oh, actually it ran off to hide on the side of the rocks. Chirp. Squeak, squeak. More prepared for its speed this time, you succeed in closing the sack over your elusive quarry. Finally! Now let's hop on Behemoth and get back to work. It took me all the way out here just to catch a stupid rat. Alright, Armval, I did your grubby task. Let's chat. How did you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Of course he's better at this than I am. Ah, there's the odd marmot out. Wait here a moment while I put our friends in a holding cage. Thankfully, the marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. Who tasked you to capture them in the first place? What will you do with the marmots now? I'm gonna ask that. That's for the Forum to decide. They are the guiding authority behind Labyrinthos, after all, and this job was but one small part of this great inventory of theirs. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed, those were the two conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. I'm on watch, yay. There you are, hero. Is this the gleaner you mentioned, the one who was looking for lost marmots? Mm-hmm. Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I'm Krile of the students of Baldessian. These others are my associates. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That is why we made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hope that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer you more for your services. Have a nice day, Arnval. See you again eventually. Did you learn anything new from your friend there? So we've confirmed that the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. Yeah, right. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far. We also discovered when the operation was begun. The Forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put their people to this great work some 4 days after the Telophoroi made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus am I inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives a distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but waiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telophoroi's declaration was what set it all into motion. It seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archaean? From there, we can reach the lower... Uh-oh. Krile, what's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing that will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it, then. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archaean. We follow the path east through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse, or marmot was it? Anyway, to the trolls you need to watch out for. You know, Krile's just large enough that you can give her a piggyback ride. I miss having Thancred, Urianger, and Estinian around, but they're over. Well, they're not over in Thavnir. They're over at the Baldessian Annex right now. The only saving grace about this group was Graha and Y'shtola. But Graha stayed behind in Sharlayan, so now it's just Y'shtola. Krile's okay. I'm not really a fan of the twins. Twins get obnoxious every once in a while. Behold the Archean. As Nomenon serves as Charlene's literary archive, so does this structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archean contains the physical history of Charlene's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Cool. Deeper into the maze. Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. There is a shard here, yep. Which is weirdly in water, if I remember correctly, yep. So every time you port here, you get your feet wet. Ooh, gemstone trader. Ah, it's a little Perogo. Check the junk monger out first, see if they have any music. Lies, you have nothing. In the market for something on the rarer side, got a whole village's worth of surplus from the Archean, some of which can even be yours for some bicolored gemstones. You now have access to this region's gemstone exchange, tried bicolored gemstones for a variety of rare and exclusive items. Successfully completing the local fates will allow for the safe delivery of goods in the region, increasing the number of items available for exchange. Yay, more items to buy. So judging from what Arnville said, they're trying... Ooh, cards. There's, and judging from what some of the other gleaners have said, they're collecting a lot of flora and fauna that could be used as food. They were talking about seeds for growing crops, and they were talking about animals that breed easily and could be used as a food source. So I'm like, sounds like an exodus in a way. A spot of triple triad sounds lovely. I can use the cards I stored here. Unfortunately, I couldn't find instructions for the game itself, so you'll have to teach me as we go along. We're playing Sudden Death and 3 open. Should be relatively easy to win. Oh, they go first. We'll do this. We'll do this too. Well, never mind. It's gonna be a tie because I didn't get risky. Oh, sudden death. We keep going. Haha. Oh, perfect. I win now. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And I got the card anyways. Alas, it appears I've lost. I wonder if there aren't some better cards stored in here somewhere. Perhaps I'll ask my colleagues if they have any to trade. Taking your card, learning it, yay, that one's done. And we'll put these 2 items away. Greetings. We are here to peruse the Archean's vaults. Peruse. You're clearly not gleaners then. Might I ask your affiliation? We belong to the students of Aldessian, but is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Not us, then. I suppose we had better move along to another facility. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? Nope. That service has also been suspended, I am afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory. What? So this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. By that time, it'll be too late, and we were so close to getting answers. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for the moment, shall we? And out of prying ears and eyes. I mean, we're talking about sneaking around in front of one of the people. Students of Baldesion. We are at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to pursue this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek another means to access the lower levels. 'Tis likely that the people in this area are involved in the restructuring in one way or another. If we were to ingratiate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. Hey. More fetch quests. Aw, Morpho landed on my shoulder. I love it. Part of the reason why I like this pet is it actually can land on you when you're not moving. And the other thing being that it kind of reminds me of the hell butterflies from Bleach. Am I taking the lift? Oh no, we're just students. They won't let us into the Archean even though we found. Actually, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere, but it was wandering around Tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vaults. Squeal, squeal. Honest little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Archean is open again. Kind of, weird. I gotta go and find another person. I think it's Arenval we end up helping again. Nope. Bone weary worker. What's that? Take you down on the lift with me? Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now have I finally found a spare moment to rest. I did see a gleaner fellow heading out the gate here, though, shouldering a large pack, engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with whatever it is he's doing. Ah, this might be Arenval. Senor Arenval, where are you? Ugh. Where are you? Oh, there he is. It is Arenval. I was right. Spinneroony. Quiet, you'll frighten it away. Ah, it's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The cloudkin I need to capture is close, very close. Someone's mining. You wish to help me with this, too. You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 2 hunters are generally better than 1. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds, but the one I'm after today is the hornbill. Its feathers are green and its cry is a distinctive caw. Single it out and shoot it with this sleeping dart. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. I'm going ham and I'm hitting everything. Search your surroundings for the hornbill. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out, target the hornbill, and use the blowgun with R2/X. Alright. Oops. It's this green one right here. I missed. Really? There we go. You have sedated the wrong bird. It said it was... Oh, well. Oh, that's funny. Alright. Oh, whack whack, okay. Is it this one? That's not it. Wow, really? Stop laughing at me, Plex. I know you're laughing. I hit the wing! Hit the right bird with the dart. Finally! I did this much better on my PS4 because the PS4 doesn't have like an adaptive trigger. For some weird reason, the buttons are stiff on PS5. I guess it's like the adaptiveness to make it feel like a real trigger. And it kind of messes up my my fire rate. Because I'm not used to having to apply so much pressure.
A fair shot.
Ah, he finally gets a voice.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
Now you might want to hurry so it doesn't drown.
There you are. Any new revelations?
I shot the wrong bird, and then I got the right one after a little bit.
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
To get rid of them, or move them to an exodus area, like an ark?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a gleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth.
Ah, so you all are also...
Those who are,
I...
the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
Yeah, that's utmost secrecy. That's like the Area 51 of this game.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research.
An Archon in this game is basically anyone that has that tattoo on them. I'll show you in a second.
I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance.
I was right.
They're comparatively hardy species, too. Able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans.
Probably drawing a blank due to haziness. My head plex.
Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
No, you can take us with you.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, Mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
Those tattoos on the sides of her neck, the purple ones, those are Archon tattoos.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift.
I don't think I saw that show, Plex.
I will, of course, follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
It was a nice try, though.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down.
Oh, Star Trek. Oh, wow.
This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
For now.
You're quite welcome. But consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you'd do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
I could just jump over the side. I mean, as long as I don't get into combat, I don't die from fall damage.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
I only break my legs if I'm being targeted by an enemy. For a long time, I didn't grasp that setup, and occasionally I'd forget. But eventually I caught on. If you don't want to die from fall damage, don't be in combat. Okay, alright. Hey, Lefty. It's been a while since I've seen the original series. I was more of a Next Generation in Deep Space Nine. Although Voyager was a good one, too. I wouldn't mind a few of these lamps for my my house. This must be it, the entrance to the mine shaft. 'Tis faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed there by the researchers, you think? Well, slavering beasts aside, we will need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. I don't know, maybe it was. No, this... Wait. Was it over here? Was it a screamer? Yeah, those were different birds. Slightly different. I mean, it was green and it looked like a hornbill, it just didn't have the cawing. The medial circuit. Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. I'm just gonna charge on through on a mount. I don't know about you guys. You guys can sit and fight all you want. I'm just running right on through. And on my T-Rex. Yeah. Because I'm just... Oh, I actually do have to talk. Stop and talk. That sucks. Oh, damn it. They anticipated it. Whenever you see a purple destination point, it always means combat. Well, you make me angry. One of the reasons why I love Warrior so much, it feels like a powerhouse. Plus it has a lot of longevity. I get to ride my Pimpmobile. It's my gold-plated Magitech Reaper. You get that for 500 commendations, I think. Oh, I was too far away. Oh, I missed one on the hit. Oh, back to Goldie. Sweet. I could eventually do a mission back in Mordona where I could unlock an ability where I could fire the cannon from this, but it doesn't do any damage. It's just a basically just an aesthetic thing. And the reasoning why it doesn't work on actual enemies is due to the fact that when I used it to blow open that door back in A Realm Reborn, I permanently burnt out the core. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident. Nothing of consequence, at least. And as promised, the tunnel has delivered us into the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Armval's assumption holds true, that specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. Lefty's back. There was something about this area. Oh yeah, there was a little bit of a controversy when Endwalker came out that ended up making the game a little bit meme-worthy. And it'll be over here in this area. I'll be sure to stop by and have a gander and see how they changed it. But it was a little bit of hilarity. Once we get this done, I'll explain it. Ooh, I'm almost 85. Aha, now I know where we are. This is Morale Agronomics. Blech. The names. Labyrinthos is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of their research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. More notable successes might make it to the Agora. Foods is so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaners hereabouts, yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. 'Tis possible they know something of the forum's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, would you say? See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same, or cast about for useful clues. Let's mingle. Alright, so I've come down a bit further, but we're still on the outer tier. Alright, so where is it? It's over here. This is it. So the grapes. Oh, they didn't change them at all. Oh, this was a big joke back when Endwalker came out, how blocky the grapes looked. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm glad they didn't change it. Or if they did, they didn't change it by much. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one's a variety of grape. Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Hardly surprising given that it's native to a particular locale in the very place upon which Labyrinthus was modeled, a region in the south of Ilsebard. Bleh. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for myriad flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperate plains, which in turn transition into a hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory as ever contested, as you might expect, used to be called Corvos before the Imperials renamed it Locus Aemoenus. The Forum saw it not as a prize, however, but as a researcher's ideal environment, one whose climates we strove to recreate within the confines of Labyrinthos. It since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments and cultivation. It made such a stink that they made a housing item, which is a lantern you can stick outside that's shaped like the grapes. Do I have aught to be taken down below? More than I can carry and then some. Most of our stock is sent off via the cargo lift, but some has been earmarked for aerial transport, hence the stack of crates atop the hill over there. Gods, hauling the lot up the slope was a job and a half. Yay. T-Rex Spinneroonie. Oh, hello there. We weren't expecting visitors. Now with the use of the lift being restricted, how did you make it down here anyway? Carefully. Very carefully. The mine shaft, you say? Well, you're a much hardier soul than I. Under normal circumstances, I'd reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the Forum has us filling order lists a mile long. Massive yet detailed requests. Literal wagon loads of crop samples and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation and was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. Yeah, that sounds like information suppression to me. We're going this way. They're trying to stuff down a panic, while at the same time getting stuff done. I guess we're going up on the hill. Oh yeah, because we're investigating the crates. Man, I'd probably soil myself if I ended up seeing a wasp that big. In real life. The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents. Bundles of common seeds and saplings, accompanied by sheaves of reports. Then you do purple rain, huh? Okay. Oh. Interesting. This part of the story. This flower has an important aspect to the story.
Hard to look away, isn't it? But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion. You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour, Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy. Dark, subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Thanks for the random information. I don't think I will ever see you again.
Have you learned aught of interest?
Don't step on these flowers, they're hard to regrow.
A flower that reacts to one's feelings? Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we've failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaeum?
There's Arenval.
Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
Arenval!
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all...
I think we should address Kryl.
Crier?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
Hasn't been paying attention.
I'm glad you agree.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
We're gonna need to be very, very careful, because if he's an expert tracker...
can almost reach you.
Is Kryle still feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. The full report, warts and all. Ironville was headed westwards along the path outside of the Archean. Come, we can still catch him. Again, he's an expert tracker, so we shouldn't get too close. I'm just gonna jump down. You guys can go take the long way. So close to 85. I don't even remember where I'm at in the story level, though. I'm probably still 80. Hold a moment, I have an idea. If memory serves, that colossal wall-like structure is Logisticon Beta, one of Labyrinthos' climate control centers. It should have its own lifts, with which one could access the upper or lower tiers. If I were an agent of the Forum, I would make for a convenient meeting place. It would make for a convenient meeting place. But even if we happen to find Ironville in the company of said agent, we cannot expect them to reveal issues of importance as we nonchalantly stroll past. Nay, we shall have to remain undetected. If only Graha and his vanish spell were here. Oh, but there are other ways to turn invisible. Hippity hop, my little toads. Goodness! I got toaded. Unaccustomed to transfiguration, worry not. It will wear off with the passage of time. I suggest you and your green companions hop along and catch up with Ironville. Should you feel the magic's fading, return to me and I will refresh the enchantment. And what am I to do in the meantime? Wait here with me. In your current state of mind, you'd be as likely to leap into the jaws of a predator as you would learn anything of note. Which reminds me, where are the creatures hereabouts? In that form, you are essentially defenseless. You have changed into a toad. You must remain transfigured in order to progress with the quest objectives. You'll return from your transfigured status if you move too far away. Look to your map for the transfiguration's area of effect. Speak with the Y'shtola to restore or prolong the transfiguration. Rivet, rivet, rivet. Alpha Toad and Alatoad are now accompanying you. Keep them at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave your quest companions behind by entering a different area or by speaking with them and selecting the option to part ways. If you wish to have your companions join you again, return and speak with them at the original location. Gotta be careful of monsters. What does it say? Inhibiting use of actions, okay. Oh, and there's big toads. Luncheon toads, as it were. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Alpha Toad attempts and fails to shake his head, but you nevertheless understand that he is telling you this is the wrong way. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. Alatoad turns to face the north. Perhaps she is suggesting you cross the bridge. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. don't think they went into the town. I think they're up on the... Oh, they're there. They're at that building. They gotta be. Found it.
I trust you will find your compensation to be more than satisfactory. We wish to make clear that we are pleased with the efficiency and thoroughness of your work. So much so that we have come bearing new tasks in need of your competent hand.
Oh boy.
Another lengthy list. If I may speak frankly, the Gleaners have been pushed to the point of collapse by your unending demands. We are not familiars to be exploited. We are Sharlayan scholars, and we deserve an explanation for this unseemly treatment. What warrants such urgency?
In an age long past, Sharlayan was charged with a momentous duty. And now that word of the final days hangs heavy in the air, the time has come for us to fulfill that charge. I can say no more, but I promise you this. All will be revealed in due course. And when it has, you will understand that your toil was in service to the greatest good.
Then I will do your bidding. For now. But unless you wish the Gleaners to rise up in protest, I advise you to offer tangible improvements for our working conditions. Your promised revelation does nothing to address present circumstances.
Smart man.
Point. Your concerns will be conveyed to the Forum.
I hope that was informative. You may consider my debt to you repaid in full.
Do it.
While I do have my reservations about the Forum, I want to believe that they have our best interests at heart. Which is why I'm reassured that you're busy sniffing out the truth of things. We can ill afford to place all our eggs in one basket, this master plan of theirs, without first understanding the risks involved.
Wait! How did you know it was us?
If you mean to impersonate a toad, try studying the real thing. And don't try to fool an expert.
I knew he was gonna know that it was real. Or fake, I mean. Our toad performance needs work, apparently. I'll have to pay more attention the next time I see one. I suppose we should have known a gleaner who specializes in animal procurement would not be so easily deceived. Yet he seemed inclined to put his trust in us all the same. More importantly, perhaps, we've discovered a new piece of the puzzle, this momentous duty the forum agent mentioned. Charlene has been called to action, and the Telophoroid's declaration was the catalyst. Whatever charge it is they hope to fulfill, they deem it of sufficient import to disrupt all of Labyrinthos, not to mention ignore Eorzea's request for aid. Ooh, level up. A guide of sorts. What duty could warrant the direct involvement of the Forum and the commitment of all its resources? Judging by what we just heard, none of the Gleaners were offered any kind of explanation. At this point, it seems abundantly clear that we'll learn nothing new by pressing them further. We should head back to Y'shtola and Krile for the moment, see what they think of this. Where am I at? I'm still level 80. Oof. I knew it was gonna pull. I don't got time to squish a toad. Ooh, I'm close to the next million, too. Nice. Welcome back. I trust you found Arnville, then. And he found us. Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something important, even if that something was simply a confirmation that no one knows much of anything. We should share this with Krile, then discuss how we'd like to proceed. Assuming we find her back at the farm, she was still behaving oddly, so I bade her return to rest there. Perhaps not the best decision in hindsight. Would you mind checking near those flowers she was so entranced by? The rest of us can survey the more distant areas, just in case she decided to wander. Yeah, Krile is heavily distracted right now. Lefty's back! I think we're going back up on the hill. Just gotta find a way to get up on that hill. I think I gotta go this way. No, it wasn't this way. They certainly named it correctly when they called it Labyrinthos. It is definitely labyrinthian. Load up here, I think. Yep, there's Krile.
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting. She said you would need it for the journey ahead.
Huh.
Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Thank you. Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment. Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, it has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest. After Menphilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well. Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you. Take the flower, walk free, for you are free to go where you wish, to believe what you will. That bloom will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free, and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine, till the end, blinding and radiant.
Oof.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away. My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out. Even with my particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first, so weak and tenuous it was. Once I took hold of that wispy thread, imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress. You can't be serious! We've done nothing wrong!
Knew it. I bet. Oh shit, it's Fortunal.
Master Fortuno? What business has the Forum with us?
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization. We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian. A group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as Scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities. Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge, but the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact. With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. and we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
It was only a matter of time.
What, then, is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Graha.
Graha! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
Mm-hmm.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse. But enough. This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
These stuffy people. I think they know better. They don't even dress right. They look doofy.
Forgive me. I was careless.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together.
Mm-hmm.
I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
His staff got taken.
Will come to order. This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuner, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlayan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large. Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
You have tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man. Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age-long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a Forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own. The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policy-making process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society. And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd. From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted.
What was that about? Are you telling a joke, Plex?
No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge. The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives. Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene. But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea. You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
They can't talk about it.
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore. Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle? We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission, not through strife and bloodshed, but survival. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we Scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Such misguided zeal.
Father, Master Fortuno, I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania. Still, in the midst of my uncertainty. I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me. So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand, By their own admission, these scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches. But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections. Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? No. If we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
Sorry, Plex, if you had completed that joke, I couldn't see the whole thing, because currently my laptop is acting up and I cannot see any of my comments. I can see little bits and pieces on my screen, but it's just like an excerpt of what you post. It's not the whole thing. I got bits and pieces of your joke, but I don't think I got the whole punchline.
Order! We will have order! Master Monteshane raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, the students of Baldessian are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlayan. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your Scion associates. Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand.
Can't tell by how many. How do you count the people behind you?
I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed. Students, Scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences. Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
Well, at least we've been allowed to remain in the city, and our endless investigations have not been in vain. We now know that this mysterious duty of theirs began with whatever the Forum discovered in the Ethereal Sea. With our freedom so sorely curtailed, however, we will struggle to learn aught more of substance here in Sharlayan. Estate visitor. Oh, are we gonna go see the Levior family? The overall picture has grown clearer, yes, but that's in spite of the Forum being so maddeningly vague about this duty of theirs. Why are they so reluctant to explain their actions in plain words? Survival, come that may. His father's work so vital that it takes precedence over his own family. Alphino, Alice, it is you. Ah. When I heard you'd been dragged before the Forum, I came as swiftly as I could. I'm so very glad they allowed you to stay. Mother. Amaliance Levieur at your service, and you find people must be the scions of the Seventh Dawn. How lovely it is to finally meet you. Mother, please, we don't wish to make things difficult for you. Word reaches Father that you were here. Oh, bother that. Am I to be chastised for speaking with my own children? I am well aware that you and Master Fortunal are not on the best of terms at the moment, but I have been absolutely desperate to see my darlings again. You will come by the house, won't you? I have gifts waiting. The timing couldn't be better. As matters stand, we shan't be going anywhere until we discuss matters with Thancred's group and reconsider our options. Go, visit your home. We will be back at the annex when you're ready to rejoin us. I'm not sure we... Hero, what do you think? Head on. Hero, the hero. What a splendid day this has turned out to be. Champion of Eorzea, I insist that you join us. Sure. But we must be quick about it. Not for my own benefit, but should my husband return and find you enjoying our hospitality, the servants will be made to suffer the consequences. Hero, if you would be so kind as to escort my children to the estate. I've been made indentured, apparently. And then she was gone, and with her any opportunity to protest. Indeed, the matter is settled. Enjoy yourselves, you three. The group splinters. I apologize. My mother's not one to take no for an answer. Still, I'm glad, relieved even, to see her in such high spirits. What say you, Hero? Though it seems we shall have little enough time to enjoy it, will you accompany us on our visit home? Fine, if we're going, then let us get it over with. But be sure to stay in the entrance hall. No peeking into our private chambers, thank you very much. Why ever not? Your room was always perfectly neat and tidy. Everyone has things they'd rather keep to themselves, don't they? Cherished mementos you couldn't bring yourself to throw away, childhood toys. I mean, never mind. The Levieur estate is that way, straight down the stairs. Come on. Alphino and Alice are now accompanying you. Keep them at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave your quest companions behind by entering a different area or by speaking with them and selecting out the option to part ways. And if you wish to have your companions join you again, return and speak with the original location. Cool. Let's just squint. Let's get a mosey. I'm doing dangerous jump spins off of stairs. When Alice and I were little, this bridge was as far as we were permitted to wander alone. I say alone, but my mother or a servant was always somewhere nearby, keeping a watchful eye. And now look at us, traveling to different continents, different worlds even. After all we've been through together, 'tis strange to be here now, be with you now, to come full circle and see how much has changed. As children, Alphino and I would often wait here for our father to come home from work. It must have been a day when his meetings ran long, because I remember growing restless and leaning out over the railing and to watch the water rush by. Father, of course, arrived at that exact moment, came pounding down the path in a panic, crying out my name. The Levieur estate is in the northern part of Journey's End, just down the stairs from the rostra. Oh, and please don't make a fuss when we get there. It's only a house. A house that probably puts mine to shame. I think it's this one, actually. Ah yes, this is where I first practiced magic on an actual person. Alice had fallen, you see, and scraped her knee quite badly, so I tried casting the simple restorative spell I had only just learned. How she smiled when the wound closed, the joy and relief. That was, I believe, the very moment I chose the healing arts as the main subject of my studies. Alright, so he didn't change his talk. We used to come here all the time with grandfather. In summer, I would dip my hands and feet in the fountain and splash about. Not Alphino, though. Even back then, he wasn't very fond of playing in water. He'd made any excuse to avoid it. Which would explain how I came to swim like an auk and he sink like a stone. Yeah, this is the Levier estate. And it does put mine to shame. Like, even the doors are huge. And here you are at last. Please do come in.
Welcome home, my lady.
Woof. Quite a deal in opulence.
What? What are you gawping at?
House Levier is in all its grandeur. Scion headquarters must seem squalid indeed. Just admiring the craftsmanship. Scion headquarters must be squalid indeed.
I'll have you know I'm quite fond of the Rising Stones.
Lord Fortuneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
Master Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you'd accompany me upstairs.
Oh, I think it's about time for I think it's a wardrobe change. For the twins.
The twins have been sending letters home from time to time, recounting their latest adventures. I am sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying. Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could, sending the Scion's coin and other such donations. Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid. The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. It is clear that they have come to find value in every experience. But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name.
Guess I'm part of the family now.
'Tis plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them.
Yeah, they're like younger siblings. For good or ill.
Under normal circumstances, I would offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits.
I like to run around critting things and yell out, "Eat my crits." How about that? Here we go. We'll leave it short and sweet. I felled many a beast, many a band. And I will continue to do so. Across the land. Yep.
When you mentioned gifts, I wasn't sure what to expect. Mother,
Oh, look how well it fits you. And the style is to your liking?
It's perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. But please, tell me you had something different from Alpha.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore. And while I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become. See for yourself.
Thank you for the splendid clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
I am so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
Oh,
Me, Master Alphino.
I think Alphino gets an upgrade. Is it what I think it is? Yep. He gets upgraded to the Sage class.
Wait. Are these...
A sage's tools of the trade. They belonged to your father. Though he may as well be chained to his desk these days, as a student he was often called upon to venture into the field. He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless.
So no more obsidian carbuncle or whatever he had, or diamond carbuncle that he had. It's now Sage mode.
Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now. And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry. I am told these devices are quite difficult to master, but someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb. May the wisdom in that crystal serve you well. And please, try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
We will, Mother. I promise.
My final gifts to you, before you run off, are an observation and a suggestion. Firstly, Fortunato has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work. I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance. Secondly, do not seek to best your father with words. Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
Just telling him to raise hell.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close.
So Malleance at a later date can be picked up as one of those custom delivery people, and you can glam her, and a lot of people like to glam her in very weird glams. Thank you for indulging Mother's request. I could see it meant a lot to her, and I shall refrain from inquiring as to the content of your private conversation. Our visit was all too brief. For now, however, it will have to suffice. As will these tokens of home that we carry with us, these gifts to help us remember who we are and whence we came. But enough sentimentality, let us return to the annex and rejoin our companions. Alright, so I'm going to have to leave this here. Thank you all for watching. This has been part 142 of my live stream playthrough for Final Fantasy XIV. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber already to keep up with the content. And comment down below. Tell me what you think about the game and my gameplay. No spoilers, please. And please keep it spoiler free. I don't want to have to start deleting stuff. And also, I'm still looking for some information as to why the orchestrion is not working in my mansion, or my, not my mansion, but my building. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Later.